A blast of lightning slammed into the ground an inch away, and I slipped on the wet, mossy rocks, sending me tumbling to the ground. Iron filled my mouth as my ears rang. By the 9 kings of hell, that was close. My racing heart filled with fear as the dragon roared, shaking the earth and conjuring a mass of storm clouds overhead. Thunder cracked, and hailstones the size of my fists hounded us mercilessly. Damn, of course this wouldn't be easy. I gripped my sword tight in my hands and charged the beast. "Durin, wait!" Alistair screamed over the thunder. Like hell. Each passing second inched us closer to death, and if we didn't act, we were doomed. Gil and Levi ran forward, circling the mighty dragon and holding its attention. The elder storm dragon was deadly. Every facet of it screamed at me to flee for my very life. The beast towered over all of us, moving with lithe precision, snapping its jaws at Levi's great shield. As dangerous as the creature was, its beauty could not be denied. Its scales glistened like sapphires in the rain as it moved its hulking body to face us. Its massive limbs capped with ivy talons were the length of my longsword. One swipe would rend us in two. While they bought time, I circled around it, searching for an opening. Alistair cursed and held his hands toward me, reciting a short chant in script. He finished, and a bright red circle appeared in his palm, a swirling geometric pattern that danced over a pentagram. As it spun, a warmth spread over me. A tiny notification in the corner of my vision flicked to life as Alistair's spell took hold. Damage boost, 30 seconds. Such a quick and dirty incantation, but it was enough to give me a chance. I ran in between Gil and Levi while they kept it busy, and slashed my long sword across the dragon's chest. The metal bit deep, hewing a chunk of flesh out before I backed away. Blood sprouted from the gash to splash across my face, mixing with the sweat that dripped down to sting my eyes. Damn, not as deep as I needed. It was barely more than a scratch on the massive beast, but it was deep enough to cause the bleeding status effect, which would only help us as the fight wore on. The dragon unfurled its wings and rose on its hind legs to claw at Gil. The vicious talons missed him by a fraction of an inch. The ebony giant bellowed with laughter, taunting it. Gil was a human mountain, easily 7 feet tall and stacked with muscle. His chainmail shone from beneath his leather armor in the rain. Gil hefted his enormous battle axe and brought it down across the right leg of the dragon before backpedaling with far more speed than I'd have credited him for. The dragon lowered to the ground and stared at us with a hatred that hinted at far more intelligence than any mere beast. It swiped out with its tail, which was half the length of its body and riddled with jade spikes each the size of a dagger. Death whistled past us as we rolled out of the way. I landed in a puddle formed from a depression atop the mountain. A flash of my features appeared before the rippling water distorted the image. Long copper hair soaked to a muddy brown, which framed a rugged, menacing face. My hair nearly covered my amber eyes, which were alight with adrenaline. Even though my heart raced a mile a minute, I had the biggest smile plastered across my face. Moss and bits of rock clung to my hands as I pushed myself off the ground and retrieved my bastard sword. The rocky, uneven terrain of the mountain made maintaining my footwork nearly an impossible challenge. I stepped over the slick rocks to rejoin my party. Sparks of lightning curled from the dragon's jade horns, arcing off to strike at random. An errant bolt struck next to Alistair while he was distracted. He shouted over to us, but his words were lost in the storm. I ran over to him. His fine hair resembled a dirty mop as it stuck to his face and obscured his brown eyes. Alistair ignored me as he built another spell. Arms splayed wide open, his palms glowed as he worked his magic. I couldn't understand the words of script he used, but as the sandstone script circle flared to life in between his hands, I recognized the spell he was about to cast. Ground. Which meant we were about to be in trouble. Amid the torrential downpour of rain, a ball of electricity amassed between the dragon's horns and shot out in all directions before arcing back to converge on us. The bolts of lightning hit us and obliterated my senses as a blinding white light seared my vision and ozone burned in my nose. It took a moment for the world to right itself again, but when it did, I was elated to see that we'd weathered the attack unscathed. Alistair, how far is the radius for ground? 15 feet, long as you stay close. I can keep the lightning attacks at bay.